Hey everyone, Alex fan coming at you with another video. Tonight I'm going to be reviewing Super Mario Zilla's Godzilla Vengeance. So I know I am a bit late when it comes to this fan film, but it is pretty unfortunate as it is, and let's just get right into the review. So honestly, this fan film exceeded my expectations. I did not watch trailer 2 because I had already seen most of it from when Godzilla 621 was watching it in a hangout, unfortunately. So I figured, you know what, what's the point? Plus the film came out literally 2 days after trailer 2, so if I was to do a reaction trailer 2, there would be no point because that would just take up more video space and more editing for me, unfortunately. But the fan film has been out, and I must say that the fan film really exceeded my expectations. When it came down to Super Mario Zilla's other products, they were good, but I feel like this fan film was like on the level of a Sousa Productions or Goji 73 or someone who's really big, because this fan film was really great. I mean, this was like on the level of Godzilla 621 in terms of, not like in terms of how it's made, but in terms of how good it is. Like, it's within that good and great range. The stop motion was really excellent. Like, the stop motion is just very fluent. But let's get on to the plot. Let's talk about the plot because that is what I do first. So our plot involves around two military veterans, John and Kyle. They go to talk to a general, and when they go to the military base, they discover that the general is actually hiding a creature. This creature is obviously Destroyer. Our main characters then are inside the base, and Godzilla comes ashore, and our main characters are running for their lives. Soon the military sends out the defense units. The military fights off against Godzilla. Of course, Godzilla inadvertently releases Destroyer, and now Destroyer goes to Tokyo with Godzilla pursuing it. Then Godzilla fights this fully grown Destroyer after it mutates, and then that's where we get the secondary villain from not also Destroyer, but we got the Vortok. So the Vortok decide to use Destroyer as their weapon along with their monster King Ghidorah, and King Ghidorah and Destroyer both wage war against Godzilla. Godzilla tries to take on both of these monsters, but because of how powerful these two monsters are together, the military decides to send John and Kyle out into Mecha G, aka Kuryu, and eventually Godzilla and Kuryu manage to defeat King Ghidorah and Destroyer and save the day. So that's really what I recall from the plot. Like, if I was to summarize it in about a few seconds, I'm pretty sure there are some major details that I missed, or if there aren't, then I'm great, because I kind of skimmed through the movie to kind of remember most of the plot. I didn't like watch it word for word, so if I would like remember every quote, that would not unfortunately happen. Overall, the plot is pretty simple. There's nothing super complex, but this is a fan film, so this is as complex as you can get. It's actually a lot better than just the generic fan films where a figure just goes into the action and says, it's basically, most fan films use the Ford Brody formula, but here they don't use the Ford Brody soldier formula. Well, they technically do, but here you actually have like real humans in green screen, so it was really good. My biggest problem with some of the human scenes though is that sometimes there would be like parts where they're talking and hear this weird sound in the background every now and then, so it's a bit hard to understand them.
It's great to have you two back from vacation.
Be back, Seth.
I can tell. Come in. Alright, boys, you two have a different station.
But overall, the human scenes were pretty good. You know, you got like John and Kyle, and the two characters, they used a lot of profanity, and they were also pretty funny because they made a lot of jokes here and there. I'll probably show like some clips of them making jokes.
Whoa! Jesus!
What the hell is that?
I don't know. I've never seen anything like this before. I'm calling it General. General? What the hell is this? Jesus! Yes!
Shit.
Overall, I thought the human characters were pretty good. They didn't have much of a backstory because, again, they are military veterans. And because of the Mario Bros. 17's age and his friend's age, they really did feel like young adults. They didn't feel like young kids that were just in the city running around like a bunch of goofballs. No, these actually felt like older teenagers and young adults, and that's probably the Mario Bros.' advantage in terms of age and with his friends as well. I thought the human characters were pretty good. The general was pretty good. I was actually expecting the general to be the villain for some reason. I don't know, with that little mustache and suit, he looked like some sort of military dictator slash drug lord. So I was like, oh, I don't trust this guy, man. But anyway, the general did turn out to be a good guy. However, he was hiding some stuff. He wasn't only hiding Destroy, he was also hiding the Kiryu project. So I was like, oh, Kiryu. To be honest, when it comes down to Kiryu in this movie, he really just comes in as a last second kind of thing. Like, he comes in at the very end. There's no mention of him at all until, like, Godzilla starts losing. It's like, okay, so you had Kiryu. You could have dispatched it against Godzilla. You didn't have to sacrifice military units. But, you know, that's just kind of more of a minor thing. I really like the final battle though. The final battle was really good, but I'm not going to talk about the final battle yet. I'm actually going to talk a bit more about some of the scenes that happened. So, since the Mario Bros. 17 is not also playing as John, I believe, John is his name in this movie, he's also playing as the General, and the way how he makes himself be in two places at once is that he records two different times of him on green screen, and he just blends it in, and I think it looks pretty good. So overall, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when Godzilla's in the daylight. I noticed that when Godzilla's in the daylight, he probably used like some green screen to blend him in with the background, and it looked really great because the thing is about the Mario Bros. 17 movie is that whenever Godzilla's in a daytime scene, it gives this really fresh kind of daylight bright appearance. And that's something that very few fan films in this day and age can do. They barely have that kind of crisp daytime lighting. But the Mario Bros. 17 really captured the essence of crisp daytime lighting and very good green screen in my opinion. It's not the greatest green screen, it's not like Hollywood or big budget green screen, but when it comes to amateur films that I've seen in the Godzilla franchise especially, this is really top-notch stuff. Like, this is amazing. Now, when it comes down to Destroya, I feel as though Destroya did kind of pop up. I noticed that Vinny, aka Super Mario Zilla, really tries to blend in this movie with other continuities. For example, he mentions Destroya from 1995.
You're right. And I'm sorry. The creature is known as Destroya. We thought we had killed it back in 1995. How wrong we were.
And then you got the Vortok, obviously from the Atari game. So when it comes down to how this would be a continuity, I don't really know what kind of continuity, or if this is just some sort of alternate universe. I'm assuming it's an alternate universe, since obviously a lot of these fan films have been just alternate universes. So I'm just gonna go with it on that part. I also feel as though the Vortok also just really popped up out of nowhere, similar to Kiryu at the end. But overall, I didn't have much problem. I did notice that there were some effect flaws, like one explosion was in a square. When it comes down to coming up with a lot of flaws for this movie does not really have a lot of flaws. The human characters are pretty good, they're funny, they're kind of corny, they weren't too serious, but there were times where they really were serious and were in trouble. The villain was pretty mediocre. It's just like, you know, sending out monsters. The villain didn't really have too much interaction with the main characters or the general. The villain was just basically there to dispatch the monsters, and that was it, similar to the controller of Planet X. And the monster fighting, overall the final battle did rage on for a long time, but it was really good. Now, my biggest problem with the final battle is that whenever a monster got hurt, he didn't always use the SH Monstars figures, he used like the Bandai Japan or Bandai Creation figures, and some other people have pointed this out in the comment section, and when he uses it, it feels so out of place and so obvious because of the detail difference. So I feel like in the next film, he should just use the SH Monsters, maybe just gently put them down and then just speed it up. I know that would be more editing, but that's just my opinion, because then when you got like the Bandai Monsters, it just looks like any other generic cheap fan film when they use Bandai figures, because that is what most fan films use. They use the Bandai Creations and the Bandai Japan figures. So then when you got like a clip of that, it just feels like any other generic fan film. But with the SH Monstars, it feels like a crisp, refreshing fan film. So overall, those were my thoughts on Godzilla Vengeance. Overall, it was one of the best fan films that I had seen in a really long time when it comes down to it. My final verdict for the fan film is a 9 out of 10. Again, there were some flaws for some parts of audio error. Sometimes there were effect problems, and overall, when it comes down to like the figure transitions, were pretty meh. But again, a 9 out of 10. In my opinion, this movie really exceeded my expectations. It's really good. I'll probably have a link down to the movie so you can go check it out in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed this video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Bye.
You know, I don't speak a giant lizard, but I think he's trying to thank us.